every morning with drive. Being on the grind, know I had to survive. We had to win. Started from the dirt and the rubble. I had to be the needle that was popping your bubble.
Hello and welcome into the Rookie Prospect Profile Series, a Zilla Fantasy Elite production. Hit that subscribe button if you have been enjoying these videos. Today we're going to be looking at running back Deneric Prince. Deneric Prince actually went undrafted, but he did get picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs. They come into the league out of Tulane University after transferring there from Texas A&M. Looking at some of their physical traits, we can see that Deneric Prince comes in at a height of 6 foot, 216 pounds, giving us a BMI of 29.3. Did have that 40 time of 4.41, which is very nice, and giving an overall speed score of 114.2. So 114.2 on that speed score. That is very good. Putting these physical traits into the RStudio model along with some of their college numbers, looking at those, college dominator rating 19%, yards per carry 5.6, not super spectacular, but using those and getting into the RStudio regression model, we see that Deneric Prince came out with a prospect score of 11.646, which ranks 207th overall. That is in the 33rd percentile, 33.2% to be exact. So shifting over to see who are the next closest comparables to that particular R prospect score, we see that the next closest better than him are Eno Benjamin, Kerwin Williams, Isaiah Crowell, Khalil Herbert, and Derek Coleman. The next 5 worst are Darren Sproles, Jaquiz Rogers, Devonta Freeman, Kenyon Barner, and Chris Polk. Some interesting ones in there. Eno Benjamin hasn't really lived up to what he could be. Khalil Herbert's had some pretty good success in a few games when he's been called on. Isaiah Crowell had one solid season. Devonta Freeman did finish RB1 overall in one of these years, like 2016, 2017. So they got some interesting comps there. Not that I think undrafted guy going to the Chiefs is going to be anywhere in that range, but that's what we're looking at with the RStudio model in that score of 11.646. So switching now to the machine learning model for Deneric Prince, we can see that he comes in with a mean score of 8.24, median outcome 8.37. His minimum was at 3.97, maximum output 12.84. Then getting into those percentile outcomes, 10th, 25th, 75th, and 90th percentile outcomes at 6.18, 7.25, 9.25, and 10.44 respectively, and that mid-50 gap at 2.00 even. So what does that look like in terms of historical people that have finished in those ranges? I mean, we don't have very good numbers here. Looking at that mean all the way down at 8, we do see a couple people, Antonio Andrews and Alfred Blue at 8 even. Getting more into that 8.24, 8.4 range, we're looking at Rachaad White last year was 8.18, Brandon Bolden 8.1, Chuba Hubbard 8.09 is his best, and then getting a little bit higher than that, Patrick Laird from Miami days, 8.3 was his best. Vic Ballard, 8.23. Marcel Reese, 8.42. Zonovan Knight last year, 8.43. Zach Zenner's best season ended up at 8.5. So that's about the range that you're looking at for a median or average outcome for Deneric Prince. Doesn't look super great. That's not someone that you're necessarily interested in investing in, despite some of those physical traits seeming to be pretty good, that speed score and everything pretty good. Getting into that maximum output of 12.84, if he hits a ceiling, what's that going to look like? Should he get those 80 opportunities? Stephen Ridley, he was at 12.83. A little bit less than that, we have a bunch of people at 12.8. That's Ronnie Hillman, Isaiah Crowell, which we did see in terms of his our prospect score. Damian Williams, Damian Pierce last year was at 12.8, kind of looking in that range, a little bit above there. Jeff Wilson, 12.94. TJ Yeldon, Rex Burkhead at 13.0 even. So that's, best case scenario for Deneric Prince. If he hits his maximum output, you're looking at that range. I don't necessarily think he's going to be anywhere close to that. should he get 80 touches. You're probably looking more towards that 8 fantasy points per game output as his career best should he receive 80 opportunities in a season. So with that being said, let's kind of look at where he falls into line with the rest of the people in his class. We are looking at 36 total prospects. So you can see he does not come out very good. He is ranked 35th and 35th in the mean and median, 34th and 34th for the minimum and maximum rank. And then getting into those percentile ranks, 35th, 34th, 36th, and 35th. But he does have the number 1 overall M50 gap, which really is just saying the model is predicting him to fall into a pretty narrow range of outcomes, and he's already kind of lower on the list, so that number between the 25th and 75th percentile is probably already going to be close just in general because his scores don't range very high. So that's going to do it for Deneric Prince's rookie prospect profile presented by Zillow Fantasy Elite. Hopefully these RStudio models and the machine learning models that we're going over here can give you that little bit of additional information, a little bit additional confidence to make these rookie picks in your dynasty drafts and all that analysis that you're doing for all of these incoming rookies. Again, appreciate the view, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. Bye.
Really be on top. Wake up every morning with drive. Been on the grind, know I had to survive. We had to win. Started from the dirt and the rubble. I had to be the needle that was popping your bubble.